What's going on, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with not a lot of great stuff here this evening, but just wanted to take a moment to put in a YouTube video just in case I get quarantined by the corona. I will have shared some videos. I know that as other people are uh, getting uh, shut up in their houses and off work, there's probably going to be more YouTube content that you can check a stick at. But in the meantime, I did want to share Remos, Captain Comics. What's going on with you guys? Hopefully, everybody is corona free and just having a good time. And went ahead and went and picked up my comic books from last week from my LCS. Didn't make it by last week, and so picked up some other good back issues too while I was there. So here we go. Darth Vader #2. Everybody kind of, suspected that Padme maybe had returned from the dead or whatever like that. I really didn't believe it. And of course, I've done heard a spoiler video, so I kind of know what's going on with this issue. Kind of figured as much, but picked up that really nice read. Picked up this at another LCS, which I'd already committed to. The one that I normally go to this one, but picked up the Boba Fett, depending on who you are or what side of the world you're on. It's tomato, tomato, potato, potato, right? But anyhow, with one with him spraying fire, so that was pretty cool. But got the cover A as well. Got New Mutants #9. This one's kind of on the fence for me, kind of on the hot seat a little bit. So not sure if I'm going to continue to pick up the New Mutants title. Brisson is doing these. Him and Hickman trade back and forth. The Hickmans I dig. The other ones, his, I haven't really dug. So a big fan of Cable. I did get the other Scotty Young version. Thought that was really cool. Especially it's a throwback to the Rob Liefeld days of having super giant shoulder pads like he's in the NFL or something. But I had already committed to this cover A, so I went ahead and kept it. But interesting thing for those of you who might have already read this Cable, but at the end, the old Cable shows up. So I'm wondering if they're going to. Never read one. I'm not a real big fan of the young or the kid Cable. They started calling him Old Man Cable, just like Old Man Logan, Old Man Hawkeye, and all the rest of them. But at the end of the issue, there's a scene with the old Cable in there. So I'm wondering if they're going to bring the old Cable back. Wondering if the fans have spoken and young Cable is just too much of a punk, not the Cable everybody had kind of known and grown accustomed to. I wonder if they are actually going to bring the old one back. So we'll see as things go along. The writer for that, I believe, is the same writer for the Marauders, which has been, pretty good, pretty consistent, at least in my book. Batman's Grave. Dig these B covers. DC does have one thing figured out: how to charge more. Which this one on Batman's Grave charge more, but these covers aren't like card stock. They're just the regular covers. I just noticed this. That sapsucker sold me a Tor comic. My. Nobody did filming of this video, by the way. That was my bike deciding it wanted to fall. So, yeah, I just noticed this. It's a Tor right there on the DC label. Hate when you get one home like that. But so Batman's Grave. I really dig these B covers. On the Batman, I usually go with the Matina covers. Are the ones I usually willing to pay $1 more because they look so much better than the regular A covers. Also, still picking up Amazing Spider-Man 41. So I was kind of drifting off during the 2009 era. It was just kind of going downhill. I think that kind of fizzled out way sooner than what they would have liked it to. But the last few issues have been kind of picking up like old school Spider deal. Even though him and JJ are kind of on the same thing now, there's still that back and forth. just batarang the bike. Exactly. I bet you it was 5G that done it. Uh, hmm, Maybe DC Sabotage. They heard me talking about them through the 5G. But anyhow, so look, I think 5G is a long way away. The only way we're going to see 5G is picking up a DC comic. I'll tell you that. So, Amazing Spider-Man has been picking back up, at least to me, like old school Spidey. And so the only thing that can make it more old school, and I guess just because I'm old school, is the fact that they could get back together with Mary Jane and do away with the brand new debacle in my mind. So, he was still quirky. He still had the sense of humor when he was married. He still has this whole sense of commitment deal. So that didn't go away. I don't know, but everybody can debate it. It's been an age long debate for several years now. All right. So Ryan number 5. So Valiant guy. I pick up all the old Valiants. I've got a whole set of Eternal Warrior, Hardcore, most of the original Bloodshots, most of the original Magnuses, the Robot Fighters, several of the other Valiant titles, all the old Rise. And so that was one of my kicks from back in the day. Dan Abnett is the one that's writing this. And so seems to be doing a pretty good job. It's kind of like the Legends of Kung Fu, if y'all remember that back in days gone by, except it's got a sci-fi twist to it. And so that is pretty cool. And also picked up Bloodshot number 7. So hopefully with the Corona stuff going around, that does future Valiant titles at the box office. I know that Bloodshot will be inhibited by great acting ability, not to mention any names, but he might be the main character. It doesn't really talk all that much, just mainly action. That was my Vin Diesel impression, by the way. But besides that, hopefully the low box office numbers won't inhibit more movies from being made. Hopefully they'll say, well, we just kind of hit it bad. My daughter in the background, she's not very happy. What's going on, Rod the Rican? I kind of put a little twist, had a little different hat going on since the Rican's got his stuff trademark. And Perry Comics lurking in the chat. What's going on, Mr. Sandals himself? How's your dad up in Washington doing? You just woke up. Perry just rolled out of bed. Are you under quarantine, Perry? Perry's been under quarantine for other things besides Corona before, so it's not a new thing to him. Yeah, old guys hours because I'm home, and so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, so Rod, I jumped on your stream earlier, and I could hear some of what you were saying, but wouldn't go through the rest of it. It was just one of those things. But yeah, so dig the Bloodshot. Got all the old ones and the chromium cover and the like. And so, like in this new series, Tim Seeley is the guy that writes it. Now, Seeley does another book that Perry's probably more familiar with, a little book called Money Shot. Don't know why Perry would like Money Shot so much, but hey, he's stuck with it. There's a pun in there, but you'll figure it out. But that's a Tyler Kirkham cover, so I thought that was pretty cool. It was hot garbage. Test streaming, yeah, that's the thing. I've tried to do test streaming before, but I didn't want people to jump on the deal. So then I end up doing, I just jump on and say, "Hey, we're live," and it doesn't work at all. So I guess you're danged if you do, danged if you don't. So, what do you do? What do you do? Tell you something that's not hot garbage, and that's Donnie Cates' run of Thor. Now, I'm not a big Thor fan. And I'm not a Donnie Cates fanboy. There's some stuff I like of his. For an example, Love God Country, awesome, right? But wasn't really a big fan of Absolute Carnage, and so I thought it just kind of fizzled out there. But Thor, I picked up the fight between him and Beta Ray Bill, and I said, I've got to go back and get the first 2 issues because I've missed something. And so I picked up this one, Ryan Stegman. This is one of the alternate covers I was able to pick up from my LCS. And so, I hope Galactus doesn't have the coronavirus because that saliva right there, it's going to infect him. He's got to watch for this stuff. So yeah, Thor's putting the smack down on Galactus like he's yesterday's hoe. Like he is yesterday's hoe. Smacking him. Smack. Pow, 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 pow. That's how you do it, right, Perry? I figured Perry would know. Okay, so X-Men number 8, the Brood are back. So yeah, the New Mutants come back home and they say, "Hey, surprise, we're home." Well, what'd you bring? Oh, well, we found a puppy. No, it's nothing that easy, right? They're not couldn't bring a puppy home. Hey, Mom, Dad, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, can we keep this puppy? We found him. He's also nice. I know he's got fleas, but we'll get rid of them. Please, please, please. No, nothing so easy. They brought home the Brood, and the Brood want to brood inside of them. And so, hey, a little star fight between the Brood and X-Men. Now, these were on my want list. They brought the Corona home. If you listen to the media, the Corona are probably like this Brood. You get inside of them and or it gets inside of you, and then all of a sudden you're like, and this little alien pops out like, and that's my impression of Alien, when the little alien jumped out of that dude's stomach. But the media would probably like us to believe that it's kind of like that. But I don't believe it's quite that bad. There is quite the mass hysteria. And so I believe it's going to be a good opportunity if people are in a good position. Holy coconuts. Yeah, so I believe if people are in a good position, they're going to be able to pick up some good books because I think there's going to be some opportunities out there with the cons being canceled. If I didn't have any other reason to hate Corona, it's the fact that they derailed my cons. Okay. I was supposed to go to a con this past Saturday, canceled. I'm supposed to go to a con next month in Alabama. That got canceled. So, what do you do? What do you do? Just go buy comics somewhere else. There's this thing called eBay. There's this thing called Instagram. You go to your LCS. Huh. Who would have thought it? The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? And we figure out that, hey, and thank you, God Tank, you put it right. So anyway, I did have some stuff that been kind of on the watch list, and one of them, or some of them, being the Jim Lee era of Batman in the 600s. Wash your hands and fist bump, do the Corona foot tap, kind of deal. Now, Perry, that foot tap deal is not going to work for you since you don't wear shoes. You only wear sandals. I think you probably still going to, especially with that toe, man. If you ain't got that toe fixed, don't do the Corona foot tap. You'll mess yourself up. But the other things that I've been looking for were the Batman Hush line and the Jim Lee. Oh, what could be better but Jim Lee and Batman? So this is one of the ones that I have been wanting. Morbius Perry. Perry. If Perry has to look like Jared Leto, who, for those who don't know, is the guy that's going to be playing Morbius, right? If he has to look like Jared Leto, at least let him look like the Jared Leto in Morbius and not the Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. Anyhow. Yeah, nice boot cover. See, you can tell this is Jim Lee and not Rob Liefeld because Liefeld would have never been able to pull that off, So as another artist in the era of comics, Liefeld would have never been able to put that off. So pulled it off. So I picked that up at the LCS off of the back wall there. And also in the same line, Batman 611. The toe is coming. Run! Let's see. Run. We got to run. Well, see, if Perry toe taps in those sandals with that knife toe he's got, he's probably going to stab somebody, and then the blood is just going to go everywhere. It's going to go blah, 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 squirt, 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 trickle, 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 trickle. It's going to be a whole big mess. It's probably going to be on national news. He's down in Florida. There's probably going to be Corona everywhere unless you're drinking the coconut juice. I don't know, but hey, to each your own. You can have a toenail if you like that if you want. Hey, I got a whole bunch of hats, Rod, and the reason being, as you know, that hair doesn't seem to like to grace my head anymore. So my hats grace my head. You know, I've got uh, the Stetson hats and the one that I typically pull out. So have quite the few hats. So it's one of those things. Oh yeah. So I picked up a couple of those. I did go ahead and order my issues for this week, which they told me that just shave it. You know, I've thought about it. I have really thought about it. My boss, who happens to be Jason as well, shaves his because he has much the same genetics, I guess, as I do. But he shaves his and tells me that I need to shave mine, but haven't got there yet. Back when I used to have hair, I actually had a flat top, kind of like Perry's. Not that I really want to compare myself with Perry on anything of note, but hey, you know, it's the first person that came to my mind. Uh, yeah, go down. Yeah, right. And that's how I used to keep it, you know, just kind of fuzzy on the top, look like a chia pet, chia. Instead, eventually, it just was no chia, right? You know, the green just quit growing, so it was kind of a defective chia. So you have it now, use it. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Well, if so, I did order my other comics for this week. So provided that I don't get quarantined, you know, I found out. So I had these meetings. The company that I work for, we had a whole bunch of meetings. So I was working all last week, and from Sunday to Friday, and I told my boss, I said, "Man, I really want to take a few days of vacay." He said, "I think you should." Great. So get up this morning, start answering emails at 7 o'clock, get on the phone, start talking to people, and tell my wife I'm not very good at this vacay stuff. So kind of fiddle farted around and ended up at the LCS and picked up the last week and went ahead for this week. And he excellent. It's not very many for this week. It's only 3 or 4 titles, but he acted like he wouldn't have no problem getting all that stuff. With that said, I found out that in my rambling in the company in Louisiana last week, that 2 people were encouraged by their doctor to visit the corona testing services. So particularly been and you know, we all go around and you know, we probably around people that have got corona and we don't even know it, but I guess it's a little different when you know it type deal, huh? So potentially been exposed to the corona. So we'll see. Hopefully that won't pan out to be anything. I'm typically fairly healthy and hashtag fiddle farted. That's right. um, so potentially been exposed to the coronavirus from my meetings last week. And Discovery Bay, disco. Well, thank you for stopping by. And hopefully none of that comes. Most of the people in my house flu, and hopefully I don't get the Corona June, which is also known as the flu, either. And hopefully nobody else in the comic book community does. I think it's much overblown. I've got my suspicions as to why, but that matter. The fact of the matter is that it's here, and whether we like it or not. And so I hope I'm right. I hope it's much overblown. In a couple of weeks, it's be yesterday's news, and we'll be on to something bigger and better. And more importantly, got to get your priorities right, right? More importantly, that in the next couple of weeks, they'll put the cons back on. And so we won't keep getting cons canceled all throughout the year because I kind of had my little schedule of, okay, this month I'm going to this con and this month I'm going to this con. Well, now what's going to end up happening is all these cons are going to pile up on top of each other. And then you're going to have to make a choice. Which con do you go to? And then if it's a bigger creator, like a bigger artist, bigger writer, they're going to go to the bigger cons. And so then I'm going to end up having to pay more money to go to those big cons as opposed to the small cons where I was going to go. And the small cons are where I like to go just because you can get around, you can see what you want to see, just my personal opinion. I know I miss out on some of these guys that only go to the big cons, but maybe one day I'll graduate and go to New York Comic Con or San Diego. But just knowing me and my personal way of doing things. Like really big cons are going to be like more like work than they are like fun. And maybe some of you guys in the chat, have they canceled or postponed MegaCon in Florida? Because the week that I was going to go to Huntsville was the same week that MegaCon was happening. So now Huntsville has been postponed. I was wondering if MegaCon had been postponed. Gotta get a little coffee. So if MegaCon has probably been postponed as well, we'll have to see. Maybe it can work out. Maybe it'll be in the cards for me to get to go to MegaCon as well, because I was hoping to get to go there. It wasn't going to work out, but maybe the corona is a blessing in disguise, at least for that. Agu, I know you're over there in Washington, so you're in the hotbed of where all this stuff is at. Hope anybody that has the corona over there, and everything is going good for everybody in the comic book community. I do want to give a quick public service connection. Says your connection is unstable. Oh, there we go. Friends and family, okay, so far, good. But yeah, so far mine haven't been tested any either. But yeah, so public service announcement. We weren't able to was reconnecting. Going to still be giving away 2 comic books when we hit the 400 subscriber mark. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button on the way out of chat on this video, and also be sure to watch the 400 subscriber video announcement and comment down in the comments, I want to win or I want to win, whichever you want to say it. Potato potato, right? So it doesn't matter how you say it as long as you say it. So that is going to enter you into win or be one of the winners of one of the prizes. Watch that video, you'll be able to see what the prize choices will be. Like I said, we didn't hit the 300 mark, but we were going up and a flat line. YouTube took some away, and then I got some back. Deal, but nevertheless, we didn't make it. But that's fine. Still going to give some more away, and upcoming videos, I'll be announcing something like that. Potato. Hey, Bill didn't inhale, so you ain't got to worry about that. Or are you talking about Hillary? Hillary didn't know how to spell anything. She really didn't even know how to spell win an election. But Bill, he know how to spell Monica. He know how to spell cigar. But yeah, so it's kind of like Joe Biden. There's one word. It is a 3-letter word, and it's important. Jobs, jobs. So maybe he knows her name for sure. That's right. Yeah. The Oval Office. The Oval Office. That was my favorite place to be, especially when Hillary was out of town. Had a good time. Got a lot of ladies over there. Won a lot of awards. Shucks. Oh, Hillary's coming back. Got to be quiet now. So, yeah, Bill knows her name for sure. That's why Bill has all the heart problems that he does. NWI Geek. Hello, Southern Comics. What's going on, NWI Geek? Welcome to the chat. Oh, Hillary, it happened again. Plane crashed in the cartoon. Yeah, I feel your pain and everything else too. So yeah, Bill's quite the interesting character. When Obama got into office, George Bush, I've seen these things that George Bush said, "You miss me yet?" I think some people are Bill's going, "Hey, you miss me yet?" So in the current political climate we in, I was old enough to be in the 90s and be somewhat aware. So seem to be different times, but nevertheless, this is not a political discussion, nor will we try to get it that way. But again, check out that video, and if you haven't already, sub up the channel. I really appreciate it, and any kind of help sharing the channel with the other people of the YouTube community, I really appreciate that as well. And it is also a benefit to you, because the sooner we get to that 400 subscriber mark, we will be having a giveaway, and we were going to be giving away some other stuff as well. I've been putting up my little giveaway bags over there. Nothing great or grand as the legendary Discovery Bay, but such as it is, we folks in the South, we have to improvise. And so we've got a few nice things to give away. Some of them are outlined in the 400 subscriber video. So go there, listen, watch the video, and enter to win. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Hit that like button on the way out. And as always, till next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.